Welcome to the Authentic Mom Podcast. I'm your host, Yav Vaidor, an Ayurvedic doula and a life coach dedicated to helping mothers shape their desired postpartum and motherhood experience. Whether you are pregnant in your postpartum period or a mother seeking a different experience, this podcast is for you. Together, we'll tackle the everyday struggles, celebrate the little wins, and create a warm community. Each episode will feature insightful conversations and practical tools from our wonderful guests. Let's dive in. Today, I want to speak with you about ways to love your body and how can you do it and change the way you're looking at your body. Now, at first, I want to speak with you about my relationship with my body. Since I was a child, I remember that I used to be very conscious about the way I look, and I used to look at my body and think why I can't be thinner and why I have this certain shape. And I was kind of like, I think, as every child, dealing with how everyone will look at me and how I will see myself in the mirror. And my relationship with my body was a long one indeed. And I have to say that it took me a long time to wear dresses and skirts and even go to the beach and be very comfortable with the way I feel and with what I'm wearing and even going to the water. I don't think I went into the beach with swimwear when I was a child, not to mention a bikini. That wasn't really something that I allowed myself to do. And I used to go literally with a top and pants and cover all my body because I was really ashamed. And the first time that I wore a bikini was when I was 24 years old. That was the first time that I allowed myself to go to the beach, go into the water and feel very comfortable with myself and with my body. And that was the first time that I really didn't care about what other people think. And I just enjoy having time at the beach, which sounds very, very easy, but it was very hard at times. I was a dancer for many years. And I remember that as a child, I used to be the only one that didn't fit into the clothes. And I always had these special custom made dresses or pants or shorts that made just for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't that fat. It's just that my shape and my body shape was always growing more than it should have been at that time. And I guess that I grew very, very fast during that period. And I remember that when I was at year 6, I looked like I already a teenager. So that's how I used to start and feel about my body. And I think that at year 9 started to do my first diet. And that was the time that I allowed myself to really see differently the way that I'm eating and see differently the way that food is nourishing my body. And I changed the way I looked at food for the first time in my life. It wasn't just eating because, I'm sad or eating because everyone eat. It was really for the first time eating because I'm hungry and eating because I like the food and it's something that made me feel good. I think my most important thing is to tell you that your body is amazing just the way it is. When you're pregnant and you have that beautiful curved tummy, and when your boobs are getting bigger, and even after, when your tummy is still fluffy and everything is not going back to the way it used to before. And I want you to first know that you are beautiful and really be able to say to yourself, to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am beautiful. And to say to your body as well, say that word. My body is beautiful. I am beautiful just the way I am. Because mama, that is the time that you're starting to change the way you're looking at yourself. Accept the body that God, the universe, whoever you believe in, gave you. You have a beautiful gift. This is the temple that carried your children. This is the temple that's nourishing you and make you feel good with yourself. So that was the first tip for you today, is to really accept your body. And then use mantras and use some affirmations to help you see the body that you have in a different way. Look in the mirror and say to yourself every morning, I love you. You are beautiful and I am beautiful. My body is beautiful. I love myself. And that's a beautiful stage of really realizing and tuning into acceptance and tuning into that place of loving yourself. Now, that was the one thing that I really cherish, looking at myself in the mirror and saying myself mantras and looking the way that my body is changing and loving what I see. When you're pregnant and when you're curvy and you know your body is starting to be in a different shape, then you really should think about how this is just a miracle. You are carrying a beautiful human being or human beings, and your body is this beautiful temple of love and beautiful temple of nourishment. And look at it as really the time to love every piece of it and move it in a way that will make you connect to it. I remember in my first pregnancy, I used to do yoga with the amazing Lauren Faulkner, and I loved moving my body. It made me feel good. It made me move all those aches and pains and moving myself. And it was a beautiful way of loving what I see again. And you can go and do some walk, and you can as well dance and start and have a relationship with your body that it's a healthy relationship. And that's the key. Having a healthy relationship with your body, really and truly be able to love what you see. And then start change the way that you're thinking about food. Food is the way of us to give our body energy and really give us the nutrition that we need to be able to function. I know as a person that had a certain relationship with food as well, that it might be easier to say than do, right? So it might be easier to tell you those things, but then it will be harder to change it. But each time that you looking at a certain food, then start and think with the question of, what will I feel when I put it in my body? What will it make me feel? If you have something that you don't like at the moment, then think about what are the ways that can help you change it. So I remember that me and my sister, we used to always look at each other and think as little girls, oh, I wish I had your hair. I wish I had your eyes. I wish I had this. And then I would have looked perfect. But sometimes when you're going outside of that perfect, because, you know, each one of us can see ourselves as perfect in a certain way. Loving your body is a process, but it might be easier than you think. If you starting and looking at yourself in a different way and eliminate the thought of what other things of you, because it doesn't matter. The only person that matters is you. And if there's something that you see and you don't like, then look at yourself and think, what can I do to start and like it? Will it mean that I will do more exercise and I go for a walk and I start slowly? Or will it mean that I eat differently? And in every stage that you're going through as a mom, just be very, very gentle with yourself. I remember when I was after my cesarean with my first child, I went straight back into exercising. I love it. I love exercising. I love moving my body, but it wasn't the right time for me. I was still healing from my cesarean. I was dealing with a child that didn't breastfeed so quickly, and I needed the time and she needed the time that would have been more gentle and at ease. And after each pregnancy, I learned to listen to my body and what my body needs as well. In this way, you're learning as well what are the things that you need in a certain way to do for yourself to feel good with yourself. Saying that, it's mean that for me, after my second child, it was more of like going for gentle walks or doing yoga instead. After my third child, it was more Pilates. So in each one of them, it was something different. But when I really tuned in and connected with my body and listened to what I needed at the moment, then I could have really looked at things differently and start and change the way I see myself. So it's a quick message today, but I really want you to think about these 4 things. I want you to start and accept yourself as who you are and speak to your body in a kind words and in a kind way. I want you to really say things like, I look beautiful just the way I am. I love myself and the pictures and the things that I see. Try and speak about yourself and your body in a different way. And then you start and show your body more love and more acceptance and more of that way of really loving yourself. I really love when I have those days that I'm kind of like things starting to, I'm not moving enough, or I'm not doing enough, or I'm not doing things for myself, really starting and posing for a sec, and then thinking about, okay, what can I do differently to change it? And looking at yourself and your body, see it as the temple and the place that you're nourishing. Looking at it from a place of love. I think that throughout our childhood and all the time that we're living, there is that perception of we need to look in a certain way and we're all human. And the beautiful thing is to know that don't all needs to look the same, and accept that beautiful body that God, the universe, gave you, and really be in a place of loving what you see. Look in yourself in the mirror, and you can do it with your undies and bra, and really love every piece. The scar from the C-section, the wobbly belly, the hands that didn't go back to normal, everything that you see. Love it and be in a complete love and acceptance, because that is the start. When you start to see the way you see your body, then you'll be able to be a little bit happier with yourself. So that is my message for you today. And I hope you have a happy Monday and a beautiful week ahead. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. I hope you found inspiration and learned new things from our conversation. If you enjoyed what you heard, please take a moment to share this podcast with a friend. I love to hear your thoughts, so don't hesitate to drop a comment or reach out to me on Instagram. And remember to follow The Authentic Mom on Spotify to stay up to date on our latest episodes. Together, let's build a community of support and positivity. Sending you lots of love as you are changing your motherhood journey.